is a really cool player just to have in circulation, because even from the interviews that we had yesterday, a lot of people were saying, like, you know, Kai is the problem to look out for, or alternatively Katars are really too strong right now. But Neeze was the only person that was like, I think blasters are the best in the game right now.
Yeah, and yet we see him opening up with the Mordex, going up against Wesley, opening up with the Orion. Oh!
No.
He went for the double dunk and it actually catches him on the way down. A little mistiming there, but that was crazy.
Yeah, Neeze really wanted to get above that. You saw him going for those ground pounds, but that second one went a little too low. But the damage, he gets over the corner.
What?
Sometimes Neeze plays it away where it's so unhinged. I'm like, what is just the platform movement before he went over the D-line ground pound? I was like, I can't even believe he got that, because he like ledge, cancels it, then turns around, dash back, dash forward, but he gets off the platform. The downswing from West doesn't knock out there, but man, Neeze playing incredibly well, and West trying to even things up now after how crazy fast that first stock was.
I'm glad you mentioned that too, Taza, because while you weren't here on the desk before, I was trying to explain to Duke that the way Neeze plays is weird. It's just weird. There's no one else I can compare him to, but it's effective.
Yeah, because sometimes it's just like he's evolved into the riskiest player I've ever seen, and then sometimes I go like, oh, he's just backed in the corner and scared, right? Like that's how, I feel like he switches the pace on the mood so much that I can't keep track of what his actual play style is.
Well, while Neeze has been bringing out the weirdness, Wes has been doing a really good job keeping this one close. He took that, he lost that first stock pretty quick, but he's staying right alongside Neeze right now.
Gosh, I love that West uses just the default Orion with orange. You ever seen anybody lock in default Orion but with the yellow palette? Yeah. And it's just so slightly off that I'm like, why did you do this?
Got scared there.
Tough. Yeah, I mean, at this point, next hit probably takes a stock as a gravity cancel delay recovery. At the the response time was ridiculously fast for me. He saw the moment and immediately executed. There was no moment of hesitation.
Yeah, it was an odd ground pound to say the least. Maybe he was looking for a recovery there. Neeze responding pretty well. That's two unarmed D-Light knockouts actually. One being a ground pound, one being a recovery, and West just hits him with a side air. I think he's taking like one side light or side air of damage, so really close game one.
Pretty much already taking that lead away from Neeze. Oh my god.
Doing his best use impression. Just keep going, keep going. There's like seven dares, 8.
A human washing
He's not going to stop. He's not going to stop. D-Light's like half an air, okay? It's like it's like fine. Look, he's only burned him with the okay.
Only exhaust.
This is getting comical actually. There's just fumes filling small portions of lines. Okay, action. Wes, stop. What?
You can't.
It was 10 nairs to a Sair. I count the downlights. 2 downlights is actually, I don't know, how much damage does Lance downlight do? I've never really thought about how impactful it was.
It's hard to tell because it's a multi-hitting move, and so I'd have to like...
like how much you get burned by matters? I didn't even think about that. Okay. Look at Wes just sitting back there, and he's like, wow. I held up and pressed the light attack. Like he literally never let go of W while jumping around. Because then you can, as long as, depending if you have neutral priority over side, you could just do that and just jump around, and then you can nair as much as you want.
Neeze obviously didn't like those nairs because he's swapping over to the Diana for game number 2. Literally no carryover to the Mordex.
Yeah. But there is that expectation that this is one of the 4 characters that Neeze likes to play, so I'm okay with it. And
he doesn't miss Sairs.
He does not miss Sairs.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, and we already see the pressure coming through so much, but Wes has been hitting back the entire time through this. So even though this feels like the Neeze show, Neeze is still taking more damage than Wes has. Oh,
double.
How does he just gets them?
And the thing about this is that
he did touch. How did he catch that?
The turnaround. He got the wall touch too. He's done there, and Wes can't touch.
Oh, and Neeze kind of gives a nod of his head, being like, "Okay, I'll take it."
This is the when Neeze was asked who the best legend in the game is, Diana was his answer.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're seeing it here. If there's anything that I'll give Neeze on that, is that like Diana has some extremely consistent. Oh, the hit. Oh, doesn't get the chase dodge.
I don't think either player has credit for the knockout so far. Like I think they've just both been sweating down.
Neeze always ends up being in those sets. The same thing happened at San Diego, where there's these moments where he's doing this, and then he ends up SDing.
He got the first not like this ending that I ever saw in an actual set. Oh, Neeze. Gotta give credit to him to where he could play in such a crazy risky style sometimes that he costs his own stock and then he keeps going as if it's fine. That grab up comes through and Wes capitalizes. Wes on the verge of being up 2-0 in a really back and forth set.
Okay, hopefully Neeze can stop that from happening. Side light goes for the side sig. Diana classic. She kind of has the same setups that Kaya has off of a lot of side light setups. So
yeah, but it feels so much worse to get hit by it. I feel like.
It really does.
Actually true.
It's the sound effects from the
and
wood.
From Diana hits hardest.
Because you have to watch as you're just carried across the screen from this really bad dodge that you did, or lack thereof, and you're like, okay,
I feel like I prefer that to the jump scare that is Kaya, though.
Oh, yeah?
Oh my gosh, Wes is about to close up this game, though. And Sig and Wes takes game number 2.
You said it. You called it. You looked at it and you were like...
He just walks off, all right.
He's like, all right, Duke, I've got you.
Reverse churns the butter, like...
and I gotta say...
Is that the move? Churns the butter?
Churning the butter.
It makes sense, though. It does actually make sense. The Diana... started off really hot and then looked worse than the Mordex by the end of that, right?
Yeah.
Like it was a dominant opening to that, and Neeze even had a stock lead, and then like Wes, by like a technicality, 3 stocks him, right? Because like Wes lost a stock and then took 3 stocks right away, so it was really dominant. And Neeze is also thinking the same thing, going back to the Mordex after the Diana didn't work there. And this is a surprise. It's been a minute since I've seen the Air Temple counterpick.
Also worth mentioning, since we haven't yet, is we're in the double elimination side of things, but also they're on the elimination side of things. So this could be Neeze's final game.
Right. Yeah, that's a huge deal. That would be one of the 2 European players in this top 4 out, making that South America 2-1 on Europe. That would be incredible. Let's see if Neeze can bring it back here as we're on Western Air Temple. That unique factor being that, unlike Miami Dome, the platforms tend to get a little moody. They shift up and down depending on the state of the game.
Yeah, which means you have opportunities, like the amount of, I don't know, permutations that you can make for like combos off of those platform heights is really high. But with that said, I mean, Wes with the perfect edge guard with that Rocket Lance. I love seeing Rocket Lance's edge guards like that because there was a time where people just said that Rocket Lance could not edge guard, that they had to wait on
Which
stage.
Is wild to me, even though I know the time that you're talking about where but that ground pound comes through, but it's just kind of like you have a really nice side air. It was the risk was there for sure, but we are seeing a lot more Lance side air edge guards that are akin to like what Fiend does with Spear Sair, I think. But they just do a better job with their aerial positioning. Oh my god, Neeze, he just keeps going. They're both sweating back to the stage now.
70 hit conversion off of the 50-50 at low damage. It's wild how much Scythe can really just clean up on a player right there. Beautiful side air, but that's the thing about Scythe Sair is that, like, depending on where you hit the hitbox, the trajectory is just so different. It's so different.
But Neeze is really starting to get a solid lead here. Like, Wes took that first stock. Okay, he
making me sweat, man.
Got scared on the right side for some reason.
Falls with Nair, the neutral sig, not punished. That's the second time he's got for that double dunk there and almost gets it. Pogo, no, he's sweating. Okay, Neeze does dodge to the side of the stage. Grammy gets a sidelight now. The reads coming out from both these players are crazy. Down air could do it, but he goes for the Nair back on stage just to continue the string. What?
Let it rip a little early on the Nair. He needed to drift a little bit more, but still, I mean, Wes just got hit so many times in a row.
Yeah,
like
watching Neeze be like, actually, I'm going to continue my edge guard on this side of the stage.
Didn't chase dodge.
I can't believe that reached.
Yeah.
I forget that the downlight splashes the ground, quote unquote.
Or against the air too, right? Yeah. It just has so much more range than I think anyone really expects. It's the furthest reaching horizontal move. I mean, look at that, right? Ground pound. Neeze just like, I was worried a little bit based off of the previous game that like, oh, I don't know if Neeze is as steeled anymore. I think this might just be a quick 3-0. And then the last hope of EU came back and really did it. Mordex is the answer, I guess.
That was pretty wild considering, like, not that he got completely dismantled on the Diana, but like it usually takes a minute for people after like losing on a character and then swapping back to like really get their momentum. But Neeze really just came out and was like, all right, time to get on the board.
Oh, but now we're on Lance Runway. Here we go. Let's see how this plays out here. Wes has gone for a lot of those neutral signature reads on the side of the stage. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go for that again if Neeze ever chooses to recover low. And we haven't seen Neeze have too much success with the Mordex signatures that I think would be the highest risk here, namely down signature. That's the one that I'd be the most scared of if I was Wes right now.
Yeah, I would be inclined to agree just because it puts you in such a terrible spot. Ooh,
and the chase
punish, double ground pound, bounces off the stage. And maybe if that was a side air, he might have gone something there, but it came out as a side light, so let me see, touch the ground. But Neeze still playing aggressively, even without a weapon.
Falling side air from West, not quite enough to finish off GC side light. He wants the stock. He's going for all these heavy attacks here. Neeze, while sweat beating, still swinging.
Oh my goodness. West has to throw his weapon down just to get back to the stage. Okay. Okay, falling Sair just enough. That was like that moment where the knockback I felt like was just about to end, but Neeze goes down anyways. And Neeze is like, I think he can get D-Light recovery here. On Gauntlets, I almost like, did he just make it harder for himself to get the knockout? Like, I think unarmed would be a better time at this point, but the Scythe gets picked up. Let's see what he can do. Downlight, just, okay, enough force on that alone.
Just enough juice on that one. Neeze saying that this Mordex definitely is here to play. Maybe EU is onto something about the dog. I mean, always has been pretty relevant in the meta, but maybe he's as good as they say. I mean, look at the way that Neeze is getting all this damage. Huge conversion off of that one dodge.
He's so good at getting the Sairs and Nairs and then knowing exactly when he's like, all right, can't do that anymore. Time to throw out a recovery.
Oh,
that extra, and he punishes the N-Sig.
Okay, this is the but he gets the dodge back in the last second, and Neeze doesn't play around it, and he makes it back. But I was thinking the same thing as Neeze. Was like, okay, no dodge, that's going to be easy. West tries to get a really early stock there.
No way that picked him up from there.
He like teleported. I was like, oh, he had to have been in the middle of the jump. No,
exhausting recovery.
Buffers it too. Okay. That was quick. He had to react so fast to that.
Oh, the weapon throw is almost
Dodges
good.
it.
He's good. I
thought he was going to gravity cancel that into a side stick. The Nair, double Nair. Okay, just let 15 more rip.
Okay, one side air is all it takes. Yeah. Side air will do it. All right, cool, beautiful from Neeze to finally close that one out. But Wesley was fighting in that last stock there. But of course, West only needs one more game to go ahead and close this one out. So Neeze, we're kind of looking to push the game 5 here. Oh, sounds bad.
Oh, wait to the dodge. Way to get out, and then fast falling with the Nair. The down stick finally interrupts what Neeze was going for there. But watching Neeze do that style of combo was like it felt a little Qatar-ish to me. the way he waited that out, like, okay, and I'm bringing you back down, and then he was just looping him back and forth across the stage. Usually, like Scythe string combos like that just go higher and higher into the sky. So really cool permutations coming up from Neeze here.
All right, we see a neutral light come out. Wes trying to bring this back. Lots of D-lights because, especially for gauntlets who kind of like slide in, doesn't matter. He just gets recovered.
Wes face-palming after that one too.
Like, all right, that's too many Nairs.
I mean,
I couldn't go for 15 this time.
I feel like, you get like one of those situations in a game where people look at you and go, surely he won't do it again, right? Well, he won't Nair his 17th time, but this time, Neeze played around that pretty well. Fast fell, hit the recovery. West a little too behind to be putting out a maneuver like that, and now we're in a game 5 situation, Duke, where I feel like Neeze has really figured out what to do with the Mordex, and I'm like, okay, does West bring up the Tesca last minute? I don't know about that. It's still close, but like
I would not agree with that.
This is the elimination match. You gotta figure out what works.
I wouldn't hate it, honestly, mainly because I feel like in my experience of dabbling with the boots, there are certain matchups that just feel awkward.
Is Lance
and there's other ones that feel pretty straightforward.
Is Scythe and Gauntlets a matchup that feels awkward for boots?
I feel like those feel fine. I feel like those are pretty straightforward in terms of like, all right, somebody whips, I throw out my D-Light, but then like Gauntlets can be a little bit more weird.
All right. Yeah, we got these highlights going on in the background as we're getting ready for that game 5. They're thinking pretty hard about this counter pick here. It's going to be Fortress of Lions, and that is a pick that none of us were talking about, but I don't feel like any of us would be too surprised about. Macho Man for game 5. This is his doubles pick. Really, this is what we see him play in 2s.
Yeah, and I feel like there was a time where this was played in 1s as well, but not really. Like, I feel like it's at least been like a year, or it feels that long.
It's been a minute.
Oh man.
Definitely an interesting pick, of course. He'll still have that lance, but he's coming in for that defense and that axe. That's going to be one of the big things to see. Yeah, that's what he's swapping to.
Let's see what he does with it. Axe isn't really a weapon that I ever like hold high in favor for or against Mordex. Like, it's just like, well, if you're good with the weapon and you're getting your one-hit reads, you're doing a great job. So let's see what he can do here. Neeze still dominating the landscape, though, with the Scythe so far.
Okay, and it's going to be Down Air City. Really, I mean, we've seen a little bit of Axe this weekend, but only a little bit. I think the only other Axe we really saw came in the form of Stingray. And I think there's an idea of just playing around N-Light and D-Light only with Axe and kind of doing a similar U-styled, you know, KO by 1,000 cuts or whatever, but you got to find the hits to have that work.
Yeah, And Neeze has been the one getting all the hits here. And in fact, when Wes has been on the axe, it's when it feels like he's been the most vulnerable. Like, look at this, Neeze getting four hits, gets the dare afterwards, goes back to refresh his jumps, and then goes for a side sig, hoping to catch Wes on the way back to the stage. Wes already more damage than Neeze on his third stock. Duke, Neeze is just destroying Wes here on the Macho Man. Wes has to get this edge guard.
Yeah, he really needs to get this stock off of Neeze, and he might be regretting his decision to bet it all on this Ulgrim as...
Well,
wait, he still gets the touch. He gets the turnaround. He will even up the stock count, but man,
classic.
He's one touch from getting taken out.
Like, how could I throw this stock away? Ground pounds into the blast zone. Could make up for it, though.
Whoa.
Wow, that was so incredibly good there. There was a situation where, like, I still think there was a doubt in Wes's mind that a gauntlet recovery would even knock out at that range. So really well played by Neeze. And now it's tournament stock. And like you said, Duke, we were really highlighting that loser of this is out at 4th, right? This is the elimination side of the bracket.
Oh, Wes. I don't know.
Oh,
Scything.
Oh.
Lance is definitely not lancing well, like you said. Scythe is scything. All right, over the axe.
Oh, he switched over the axe. I'm like, this is the weapon you get comboed on. I don't know. Oh, he just... Okay. Down sig.
For a second.
And Wes almost gets the knockout with the fully charged side signature. And if Neeze keeps going for stuff like that, okay, D-like ground pound doesn't have the right angle to get the knockout off the side of the stage, but I think a recovery, just a raw recovery on the gauntlets would do it here.
Yeah, definitely. At this point, it's just one more hit, and Neeze has secured a spot further on into losers finals, but we're seeing that Wes not making it easy, but I don't know if he can bring us back. There's so much work to make up for here.
Oh, side air hits.
Not enough.
Not even enough yet there. Wes going off of the ground, he gets a D-like this damaged. Okay. He's got to play it like he's on a fresh stock, honestly, and that Wes is really good at doing that. Oh, would Gauntlet Neutralite do it here? I think Gauntlet Neutralite would do it here.
No.
No? You don't think so?
Depends when a recovery will do it. Neeze gonna take it 3-2. And so the Europeans hold on. We got 2 Europeans and a South American in our top 3 for the Spring Royale.
And it guarantees that we're going to have SA versus EU Grand Finals, no matter what.
That's true.
Wes out at 4th. Really great run here. A really close battle for 4th, where it could have been Wes, Lunar, and Meg D, where he comes out on top. And then fighting Neeze.